As we watch this, let's
Well-
bring back our friend, our colleague, Jonathan Serry, who is live at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, where they eventually will be headed. Well, actually, Jonathan, I can see it right now. The first astronaut is being pulled up on and hoisted up into the helicopter.
Yes, that first astronaut is Christina Cook, the mission specialist, American mission specialist, NASA astronaut. And she'll be followed by Jeremy Hansen, our Canadian neighbor, who also joined this mission. And then Victor Glover, the pilot. And last but not least, the mission commander, Commander Weissman, will be hoisted. These helicopters, and I believe it's 2 of them, will be carrying the 4 astronauts to the ship for medical checkups, and provided that everything is fine, when the ship brings them into San Diego, they will catch a flight back to Houston to be reunited with family and friends here at the Johnson Space Center. And they will have a brief rehab period, not as long as astronauts who've spent 6 months to a year or even more on the International Space Station. But even being away from Earth's gravity for 10 days has an effect on your body. So they will go through some rehab, light rehab perhaps, to get reacclimated to Earth. But everything seems to be great. This mission, other than the plumbing system, this mission went beautifully, a near perfect mission. And it looks like the recovery is going extremely well as well.
It looks like a second astronaut now has been hoisted onto the helicopter as well. You mentioned that the first one was Christina Koch went up first.
Christina Koch, yep.
Yeah, she went up first.
Yeah, the second one should be Jeremy Hansen, the Canadian, and then followed by Victor Glover, and then the last one that we'll see hoisted up is Reed Weissman, the mission commander.
The mission commander is always last. Fascinating to watch. And
that's right.
Reed Weissman.
They'll be with you. I guess they'll be in Houston sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, they're expected to fly here sometime tomorrow. They'll be reunited with family. They may, depending on their condition, they may make a statement, but it'll be longer before they hold a news conference or do one-on-one interviews. That will be something that happens over the next 2 weeks, but really dependent on how they're feeling, how long rehab takes. But we will hear from them. This is an incredibly articulate group. They were very inspiring leading up to the mission, but especially when they were on that spacecraft and just taking in the views of Earth, seeing Earth from such a distance. It had a very, very genuine impact on them. You could feel it. They bonded with each other even more. I mean, I didn't think this could be a more tight-knit crew before they launched, but really during this mission, they came together even more. I think these people will be best of friends for the rest of their lives.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. There is a brother and sisterhood here that few can really understand. It looks like now the third astronaut, this would be Victor Glover, who is now being hoisted into the helicopter, and then the mission commander, Reed Weissman, will be the last person to be hoisted into that helicopter. Jonathan Serry, thank you for all of your coverage tonight. We appreciate you being with us. Here now, retired NASA astronaut training manager Homer Hickam is with us. Homer, great to have you. As you watch now, 3 of the 4 have been airlifted to safety. They'll come back for the mission commander, Reed Weissman in just a minute. A pretty amazing moment. Earlier Bethany used the term flawless. Every aspect of this, from takeoff to splashdown and now to hoisting these astronauts to safety, has been flawless. Pretty amazing to watch it all in real time.
Yeah, it is, Sean. And by the way, greetings from Huntsville, Alabama, Rocket City, USA, which I know
City,
you know very, very well.
I lived there for a couple of years. Yeah, I
know,
caused a lot of trouble
on the radio
when I was there, and I caused quite a bit of trouble when I was on the air there. But I'm very grateful.
We love you. And by the way,
Thank you.
Huntsville is the home of Space Camp, and Christina Cook, as a kid, went to Space Camp 5 times. And the new NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman, is also a graduate of Space Camp, and we're building a big new Inspiration 4 training facility that Jared has nicely funded. So we're really excited here in Huntsville about this whole thing. It did go pretty much flawlessly. Pretty amazing that it did. It was a test flight all the way. Okay, we proved out a lot of stuff. The next thing we're going to do is to fly this Ryan into low Earth orbit to test whatever human landing system that we get, either built by SpaceX or Blue Origin. We'll see who wins that contest. And then we're going to go back to the moon, and we're going to stay on the moon. We're going to build an outpost there, and we're just going to go mine the blame thing. What we think, and I'm just echoing Jim Bridenstine here, what we think is that the resources on the moon are going to be about 100 times more than what we get out of Greenland or any place on the Earth, and it will cause the economy of the Earth to expand as a result. So we're really looking forward to that, and I know that we're going to be a spacefaring nation when we have our first roughneck miner up on the moon.
It really is amazing.
Roughneck
Now, if you're just
miner.
joining us, all 4 crew members now are being transported to the USS John P. Murtha. They're minutes away from landing on the flight deck to safety. You mentioned Huntsville, Alabama, and I have such a warm place in my heart for Huntsville. And it is Rocket City, USA, and the home of Redstone Arsenal. And I got to know so many people. When President Trump first got into office in his first term, it was in January of his first term when he laid out his vision and idea that we're going back. It's been way too long. I mean, it's 1972. That's a long time. We've not been there.
Yeah, I was just back from Vietnam when Apollo 11 landed, so I'm kind of a senior citizen about this whole thing. Vice President Pence came to Huntsville actually in 2019 and announced the program that turned into Artemis. Jim Bridenstine took that and ran with it, and now Jared Isaacman is giving it more focus about going back to the moon, and this time staying there. So Marshall Space Flight Center is in charge of the launch vehicles. And of course, again, we have the world famous Space Camp USA here. And we hope, this has been a wonderful crew. They have, I think the whole world has fallen in love with this really adorable crew. And I hope that what it will do is to cause a lot of young people to think, hey, I need to go to space camp. I need to be part of this great new space economy that's about to unfold.
Let me get your thoughts on the idea, and I know that we plan to be back on the moon in 2028, and we're going to have a crew land on the moon in 2028. Then the president is talking very, very ambitiously about Mars. When you think about that as an achievement, what goes through your mind?
Well, I have to be honest with you on Mars. So I believe that the moon is going to take up the next couple of decades once we get up there and see all the resources that we need to develop. Robots are doing great on Mars. Eventually we will go. But to my mind, the moon is West Virginia and Mars is Antarctica. So we need to stay in West Virginia for a while and mine some resources up there and develop better vehicles, much faster vehicles, bigger vehicles if we're going to go to Mars.
And what are we looking for when we are on the moon?
The moon is, we know that the moon is covered with helium-3. Helium-3 is a product of the solar wind. So over millennia, that solar wind has deposited this isotope on the moon that we don't get on Earth because we have an atmosphere and a magnetosphere that keeps it from getting here. Helium-3 turns out to be the perfect fuel for fusion reactors. And fusion reactors, I think they'll be online in a few years, and we'll be up there mining helium-3 to do that. Besides that, there's rare earth materials on the moon. Jim Bridenstine mentioned that beneath every crater is actually an asteroid. And those asteroids are made out of a lot of different materials that we can use, titanium, and probably gold even. So the economy that we're
Wait, did
The
you
whole
say
Earth
gold?
economy
I
is
think
going
I
to
want to
change.
go.
So,
I think they could send me.
I'd like to go.
I'll be-
I'd like to go.
I'd like to go. Oh, maybe we'll go together. I think that'd be great. It
let's
has
do
been
it.
a phenomenal thing. By the way, all four astronauts have landed safely on the USS John P. Murtha, and they're now on the flight deck, and they'll go through extensive, exhaustive medical training. Anyway, Homer, Hickam, thank you so much for being with us. Honestly, I could go for another 5 hours. I could watch this all day, all night, every day. That's all the time we have left. Please stay with the Fox News Channel for continuing coverage of tonight's breaking news.
Good evening, I'm Trace Gallagher. It's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 o'clock here in Los Angeles, and this is a special edition of America's Late News,
Oh,
Fox
darn.
News at Night. And breaking tonight, Houston, we have no problem. The Artemis II astronauts back on Earth and on their way to get medically cleared before heading back to land.
From the pages of Jules Verne to a